All right, today we're going to get into the nuts and bolts, and I mean quite literally, of the modern construction industry. We're about to uncover a small but mighty innovation that's totally changing how we build everything, from our homes to our cities. Let's dive in.
Okay, so just for a second, picture the last building you were in. Could be a skyscraper, could be your house, maybe just a local coffee shop. The thing is, they all have a secret, something absolutely essential to their strength that you've probably never even noticed. Any guesses what it is?
And what is it? Well, it turns out the real strength, the true unsung hero of any structure, is hiding right there in the connections. The joints that hold the whole thing together. And getting those joints right is more important now than it's ever been.
To really get why this matters so much, we got to look at what's happening right now. Australia's construction industry is absolutely booming, but that boom comes with a whole lot of pressure to perform.
See, the market is putting three huge demands on every single project out there. Builders have to work faster, they have to be safer, and they have to be way more efficient than ever before. It's a really high-stakes game with almost zero room for error.
And in an environment that intense, you have to focus on what could go wrong. We've all heard that old saying, right? A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Well, in construction, that weakest link is almost always the connection point.
And look, a weak connection isn't just some small hiccup. It's a domino effect. We're talking misaligned beams that can throw off the entire structure, long-term instability, and immediate safety hazards for the crew on site. And that's not even getting into the long-term stuff, like faster wear and tear that leads to incredibly expensive repairs down the road. Basically, if you get the connections wrong from the start, you are setting yourself up for a disaster.
So this really paints a picture of a huge shift in how we think about building. The old way? A lot of it involved a certain amount of guesswork, which, comes with a ton of risk. The new way? It's all about precision, engineering, and building safety in from the very first joint.
So, what does this new engineered approach actually look like? Well, it looks like a solution built specifically to tackle all those risks we were just talking about.
And here it is, the hero of our story, SHS Cleats. Now, what are these? Simply put, they're precision-engineered steel connectors. Their entire reason for existing is to create these incredibly strong, super accurate, and totally reliable joints for both timber and steel frames. They just take all that guesswork right out of the equation.
And their effectiveness really boils down to 5 key things. First, you've got superior strength, which is, a total must-have. Then there's consistent accuracy, meaning every single piece fits perfectly every time. That speeds things up like you wouldn't believe. They're also super versatile. They comply with all the strict Australian standards for that extra peace of mind, and they're built to resist corrosion, absolutely critical in Australia's tough climate.
Okay, so that's all the technical stuff. But what does this actually mean for the folks on the ground, the builders on a construction site? How does it change their day-to-day? Well, the impact is huge, and it's immediate.
Oh, the payoff is massive. Because these connectors are all perfectly identical, installation is just so much faster. I mean, think about a typical house build. If you can shave just a couple of days off the framing schedule, that can literally translate into thousands of dollars saved on labor costs alone. And that speed also means better structural reliability. You just know it's done right. And hey, there's a bonus. That precision leads to a much cleaner, more professional finish, which is something builders really care about.
And that precision? It's a total game changer for a really fast-growing part of the industry, prefab and modular construction. When you're building entire sections of a house in a factory to be trucked out and assembled on site, there is zero room for error. Every connection has to be absolutely perfect, and these engineered cleats deliver that guaranteed accuracy. But what's really cool is that the impact of this one little piece of hardware goes way beyond a single job site. It actually connects to one of the biggest movements shaping the future of construction all over the world, sustainability. Right now, we're seeing this huge global shift toward more sustainable building materials, especially engineered timber. You've probably heard of things like cross-laminated timber, or CLT, which are basically like giant, super strong plywood panels. And then there's glulam, which are these powerful beams made from layers of wood all bonded together. Now, these materials are amazing, strong, light, and renewable, but they absolutely rely on top-notch steel connectors to hold it all together.
So, when you bring these two things together, sustainable engineered timber and these really durable recyclable steel connectors, the environmental benefits just stack up. You're talking about seriously reducing a project's carbon footprint, cutting way down on material waste, and just generally lessening the on-site environmental impact. It's truly a win-win. for both efficiency and for the planet.
And when you boil it all down, it really comes back to this one powerful idea. Yeah, it might seem like just a small piece of hardware, but a reliable connection system like this, it's truly the foundation of better, safer, and more sustainable building.
And that really leaves us with a fascinating thought, doesn't it? We just saw how one tiny, often overlooked component can have this massive ripple effect. It kind of makes you wonder, what other tiny innovations are out there, hiding in plain sight, quietly building our future?